The legend of Chuck Norris, widely known for his unyielding strength and indomitable spirit, has its roots in a very different world, one filled with hardship and emotional scars. Born Carlos Ray Norris on March 10, 1940, in Ryan, Oklahoma, Chuck's early years were marked by poverty, violence, and a constant struggle to survive. His father, Ray Norris, a World War II veteran and alcoholic, was often abusive. Chuck and his two brothers lived in fear, learning to become invisible at home to avoid their father's wrath. As a boy, Chuck internalized his father's harsh words, which would echo throughout his life. "You're worthless. You'll never be anything." This emotional abuse left lasting scars, and Chuck's desire to escape his father's shadow became a driving force in his life. A life marked by violence and shame. Growing up in a home filled with violence, Chuck learned that survival was often the only victory. His father's unpredictable rages would shatter furniture and slam doors, leaving the young boy and his brothers to huddle in fear. Chuck's mother, Wilma, did her best to protect them, but she too was helpless against Ray's aggression. Chuck watched as his mother endured the blows meant for him, and this emotional pain was compounded by the physical scars left by his father. School offered no respite. Chuck was an introverted, shy boy who was often ignored by his peers. He was neither bullied nor befriended. He simply didn't exist in their eyes. This sense of invisibility followed him from home to school, reinforcing the belief that he was never enough. Seeking escape. Chuck's decision to join the Air Force. At 18, Chuck made a choice that he later admitted was driven by desperation rather than ambition. He enlisted in the United States Air Force. His decision was not motivated by patriotism, but by a longing to escape the toxic environment of his childhood. However, the military didn't provide the escape he had hoped for. Instead, Chuck found himself stationed in Korea, isolated and lonely, far from the safety he had imagined. He was still the shy, insecure boy who had fled his father's house, haunted by feelings of inadequacy. The wounds from his upbringing followed him, and Chuck found himself questioning his worth and identity, unsure if he would ever escape the shadow of his past. The path to martial arts, Chuck discovers discipline. While stationed in Korea, Chuck stumbled upon a small Korean martial arts school. It was there that he first witnessed true strength, not the kind born from rage, but the kind grounded in discipline and self-mastery. Despite his initial fears and doubts, Chuck walked into the dojang and began training in Tang Soo Do, a martial art that would transform his life. His early attempts were clumsy, and his progress was slow, but the teachings of his instructor, who emphasized persistence over talent, began to resonate deeply with him. Chuck learned that true power didn't come from physical dominance, but from mastering oneself. This was a crucial turning point in his life. For the first time, he was able to channel his pain into something productive and positive. The early struggles. Chuck's return to America. After returning to the United States in 1962, Chuck faced a harsh reality. The martial art that had given him a sense of purpose in Korea was virtually unknown in America. Karate schools were few and far between, and Chuck's newfound discipline felt out of place in a world that was more focused on conventional paths to success. He struggled to find his footing, working dead-end jobs and trying to support his growing family. Chuck's confidence was still fragile, and his past, marked by his father's abuse and his own self-doubt, continued to haunt him. In the quiet moments of frustration, he often wondered if he had made a mistake by pursuing a career in martial arts, but he kept pushing forward, practicing his techniques late at night when no one was watching. Opening the first karate school. A leap of faith. In 1964, Chuck took a major leap of faith and opened his first karate school in Torrance, California. The dojo was small and uninviting, with cracked mirrors and a creaky floor. The early days were filled with doubt and loneliness, as no students came to his school. But Chuck was determined. He trained relentlessly, teaching himself the discipline and persistence that his Korean master had instilled in him. Slowly but surely, students began to trickle in, attracted by Chuck's quiet authority and dedication. By teaching them not just how to fight, but how to approach life with discipline and respect, Chuck slowly built a reputation in the martial arts community. This would mark the beginning of his rise to fame. The breakthrough. Chuck wins his first major karate tournament. In 1967, Chuck entered the All-American Karate Championships, his first major tournament. He didn't win through flashy moves or showmanship. Instead, his cold precision and focus won him the title. This victory was the turning point in Chuck's career. It opened doors that he had never thought possible, leading to recognition in the martial arts world and a reputation as one of the most disciplined and skilled fighters of his generation. Between 1968 and 1974, Chuck Norris dominated the competitive karate scene, winning 6 world middleweight championships and achieving an incredible record of 183 wins and only 10 losses. His reputation as a fierce competitor grew, and with each victory, he solidified his place in the martial arts community. From fighter to film star, Chuck Norris's Hollywood journey. Chuck's success in karate didn't go unnoticed in Hollywood. By the mid-1970s, he had transitioned from a martial artist to an action movie star, taking on roles that showcased his fighting prowess and tough guy persona. His breakthrough film, Way of the Dragon, 1972, where he faced off with Bruce Lee, became a cultural touchstone. Chuck's larger-than-life presence on screen made him an icon, and his name became synonymous with invincibility. But beneath the tough exterior, Chuck was still the same person, haunted by his past, driven by the need to prove his worth, and seeking validation from a world that had often overlooked him. The enduring legacy, Chuck Norris in popular culture. As Chuck Norris's fame grew, so did his status as a symbol of strength and invincibility. He became a global meme, with jokes like, "Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups, he pushes the earth down," becoming part of the popular culture lexicon. However, behind the jokes and the tough guy persona, Chuck faced battles that no black belt could win. The wounds from his childhood, the emotional scars, and the physical toll of his career continued to follow him. In recent years, Chuck has faced serious health issues, including multiple near-death experiences. Despite this, the memes continue to celebrate his invincibility, often overshadowing the man behind the myth, the hidden pain of Chuck Norris. Overcoming a troubled past. Chuck Norris's life is a testament to resilience, but it is also a story of hidden pain and emotional struggle. Despite his success in martial arts and Hollywood, Chuck has faced personal battles that were far more difficult than any fight in the ring. The loss of his father's approval, the years of self-doubt, and the emotional scars left by his abusive childhood have all played a role in shaping the man he became. Yet Chuck's journey is also one of redemption, of transforming pain into power and finding a path to healing. His story is not just about the victories he achieved in the ring or on screen, but about the quiet battles he fought within himself. A man defined by persistence. The legacy of Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is often celebrated for his strength and resilience, but his true legacy lies in his persistence. He wasn't born a fighter. He became one through years of struggle, self-doubt, and unrelenting effort. Whether in the dojo, the ring, or on screen, Chuck Norris's success came from his refusal to quit, his determination to overcome the obstacles in his path, and his ability to transform pain into something powerful. His journey is a reminder that even the toughest individuals have their vulnerabilities, and that true strength comes from overcoming not just physical challenges, but emotional ones as well.